Coming up tonight, tight-lipped Prime Minister Davis on Grand Bahama overnight, but sharing little details. We'll tell you what we know. Plus, a first-hand account. A Bahamian diplomat recently stationed in Haiti gives his candid insight on the ongoing unrest. And later, we take you inside the Bahamian brewery's private party celebrating 300 years of cognac. These stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepherd. Prime Minister Philip Davis in Grand Bahama over the weekend. Sources telling Our News the Prime Minister's intention was to meet with the stakeholders of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. We attempted to catch up with the Prime Minister at the Progressive Liberal Party's headquarters last night to see the next step for government and the Port Authority. However, Our News was denied entry to the meeting, citing a private party meeting. As other news sources spoke to Davis, here's what he had to say about the trip to Grand Bahama.
Since I was here, I was asked to speak to. I came to Freeport this morning to attend the funeral of Sour Councillor Nesbitt at Ascension Church. And since I was here, PLPs decided that we should gather and have a family conversation on what's happening in the port and to get from the horse's mouth what is exactly happening, what the mission is that we are taking.
Well, countries around the world, particularly here in the Caribbean, are continuing to monitor conditions on the ground in Haiti. This as the state of unrest and turmoil continues to dominate headlines. A Bahamian diplomat once stationed on the ground in Haiti is now home and tells us despite recent developments in the political landscape, things have not gotten better. Joshua Williams reports.
There has been no improvement of conditions in Haiti since the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry. This according to Bahamian Embassy Chargé d'Affaires in Haiti, Captain Godfrey Roll. Roll and all embassy staff are now home amidst the growing unrest and violence in Haiti. The decision coming after a high-stakes CARICOM meeting in Jamaica. Now, much of the violence stems from several gang leaders calling for Henry's resignation. But despite Henry's decision to step down, Roll says things have not gotten any better.
I think the gangs are perhaps even trying to up the ante, really, because, the resignation came about because there was supposed to be a transitional committee put together. And if you would have listened to the news, you'd heard that one of the gang members called Barbecue, Jimmy Cherizier, is saying that, listen, we need to be at the table, and so they are now, in my estimation, they are continuing to put pressure.
This leading many to flee, causing an uptick in illegal migration to our southern waters. The most recent group taken back to Cape Haitian by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, an exercise that sparked concern among some in the public. Captain Roll says it's nothing new, even revealing that our officers used to transport migrants back to Haiti immediately.
The Defense Force has been doing that for years. In fact, there was an agreement that the Defense Force could, if they found any illegal migrants at sea, it would just simply turn them around and take them back into port. That was an agreement with Haiti. But there has to be some kind of court. You have to put people before the courts and all that. So that's not anything new for the Defense Force.
And with the ongoing unrest, the force's efforts have been beefed up in the south, forming a blockade. And with years of experience on the Defense Force, Godfrey says efforts like this are usually successful.
Commodore King and the Defense Force have been doing a wonderful job. They are because really the southern corridor is where most of our problems come. We have illegal poachers coming from the south. We have drugs. We have illegal migrants coming from the south. And so I think he's beefed up to the presence of the Defense Force there. And I think it's the results are you can see from the results that his strategy is bearing fruit.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Is building stronger families the key to addressing issues that plague the country? Well, that is the belief of two local organizations focused on families. The Marriage Children Family Alliance movement has teamed up with Bahama Strong Families Forever to launch a campaign aimed at restoring families. The goal is to tackle issues like poverty and crime. Bahama Strong Families Forever founder Cheryl Joaquin Alexandre shares what the program is all about.
Cultivating lit, loving, intentional, truthful, and happy, harmonious, abundant, productive, progressive, yesable families is the mission of Marriage Children Family Alliance movement.
Both groups say by pooling resources and expertise, they can make a meaningful change. Dr. Cheyenne Williams, a partner in the organization, says the collaboration underscores the importance of partnerships in addressing complex societal issues.
We want to highlight the fact that we can only have a safe nation, safe country, successful communities, and progressive homes if we empower the foundation of where it begins, which is in the family. Bahama Strong Family Forever is a collaborative, organized grouping of people that is committed to the continued success of developing programs, meetings, and social events that contributes to the positive outcomes of successful family living.
Advocates against oil drilling in the Bahamas say opting to drill for oil in Bahamian waters could undermine the country's efforts to push for climate change action in international forums. Cassarina McKinney-Lambert, the executive director of BRIEF, is also a founding member of Our Islands, Our Future, a coalition advocating for a permanent ban against oil drilling in the Bahamas. She tells us
the fact that island nations, especially low-lying island nations like the Bahamas, are particularly vulnerable and are feeling the negative consequences without being one of the major drivers to climate change. This leadership role would be compromised if we were to become an oil drilling nation.
She says the country can instead work toward making ourselves an example of the successful harnessing of renewable energy.
We really have an opportunity to take an even stronger leadership role and say, we are going to be the country that's powered by the sun. We're going to focus on renewable energy. We're going to focus on energy efficiency. And we're going to take a stand and say we will never drill for oil in our waters. So having a ban on oil drilling is really the next step for us.
When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, we'll tell you what you need to know about tomorrow's Great American Total Solar Eclipse. Safety first. Plus, our Berthina McDermott shares the story of the youngest priest in the Roman Catholic Archdiocese. You don't want to miss it. The details are coming up when Our News Weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Tomorrow, April 8th, the shadow of the moon will cross Mexico, the United States, and Canada, creating a total solar eclipse. As millions prepare to watch what is expected to be an amazing view, some on social media have dubbed it the Great North American Eclipse. It will be the only total solar eclipse in the 21st century where totality will be visible in Mexico, the U.S., and Canada. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie tells us what we can expect here at home.
Here in the Bahamas, we should see glimpses of this maximum time around about 3:06 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We're not advising persons to look directly. If you happen to have any eclipse glasses, then you should use those to look directly at the sun. Now, what is an eclipse? Solar eclipse, rather, that's when the moon somehow finds its way between the Earth and the sun, and that causes partial darkness across the area. Now, the next eclipse, we don't expect that to occur, full eclipse rather, around our area until 2044.
Now, once again, you are reminded that it is not safe to look directly at the sun without specialized eye protection for solar viewing. Viewing any part of the bright sun through a camera lens, binoculars, or a telescope without a special purpose, a solar filter secured over the front of the optics will instantly cause severe eye injury. Now tonight we hear from a millennial Catholic priest who shares his journey in the priesthood. From youth ministry to visiting the sick, he also finds time for himself. Remy Martin has his story.
Father Devereaux King is the youngest priest in the Roman Catholic Archdiocese. He was ordained into the priesthood less than a year ago. King serves at St. Francis Cathedral, which he says has a well-integrated mix of younger and older parishioners. He says in his homilies he finds creative ways to connect the two generations.
What I think about is not so much, okay, age demographic, but what can I say that everyone can relate to, and I'm able to keep their attention, and that it's something that they can do. Something that after I've preached to them, they're not just reflecting on it, but everyone else can do.
As a millennial priest, he says he often uses examples from comic books and connects them with his sermon. He oversees the youth ministry, the altar ministry, and is tasked with visiting and praying with sick members. With all he has going on in frontline ministry, Father King says he's found balance.
With all of that in mind, I'm able to tweak, and maybe I can hang out with a friend this day. The thing is, I just have to call and make sure nothing's on the schedule that day. There's no youth ministry, there's no altar service practice, no masses, no one I have to visit. So it's good like that when I don't have to clock in and clock out. I have a vocation, not a career, so I don't have a 9-to-5 job. It's whenever I have to go, when I'm called, I must go.
King had this bit of advice for others who may find themselves on a similar path.
Don't be afraid of the messages that the world is sending out there. Don't be afraid to be a light of Christ and to shine the light of Christ and speak his gospel.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Remy Martin.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, this is Coastal Awareness Month, and environmentalists on Grand Bahama are doing their part to spread awareness. Plus,
a Bahamian college baseball player is honored by his school, and a high school basketball phenom's storied career comes to an end. Sports is up next.
welcome back. A baseball player is named his college's top athlete, and a high school basketball player wraps up an amazing career. Tage Adderley is here with our Sports Weekend.
Thanks, Megan. Good evening. I'm Tage Adderley here with Sunday Sports. We talked about Owen Taylor a few months back when he got the game-winning hit and struck out the final batters to win a conference title for the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. His school recognized his heroics. Taylor was named the Frank Pindar Athlete of the Year, given to the university's top athlete in a sport whose season concludes with the league championship. The pitcher/outfielder dominated on the mound and in the batter's box, Shohei Ohtani style, compiling an 11-2 record and going undefeated in conference play, while also hitting .416 with a 10-13 OPS, 37 hits, 32 RBIs, and he struck out only 6 times. He even stole 5 bases for good measure. Taylor came through in the clutch for his squad, getting wins on back-to-back days in the final and semi-final games, driving in the go-ahead run in the championship game, and then going on to strike out the final 2 hitters to seal the win. For his heroics, he was also named League MVP. Here's what he had to say about the award.
It's an incredible feeling. Obviously, the sport's not something I do for recognition, for praise, but it's always a nice feeling when the talent and the work that you put in is recognized by others. Back in my days at JBLN and playing throughout Nassau, is kind of all led up to this moment, so it's been great.
He'll be back to dominate Ontario college baseball for one more season beginning August. Now we're going to head back to the hardwood, where Bahamian high school prodigy's career just wrapped up. Long Island Lutherans' VJ Edgecombe's team fell to Columbus Prep out of Miami 71-58 in the Chipotle National High School Championship quarterfinal round. The high flyer out of Bimini had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists and 3 steals, but it wasn't enough to overcome the onslaught from top-rated prospects Cameron Boozer and Jace Richardson, sons of NBA legends Carlos Boozer and Jason Richardson. Now, this is far from the end of Edgecombe's journey. It's actually just the beginning. The senior signed with Baylor University, and if the projections hold up, he will be a lottery pick in the 2025 NBA draft. That's a wrap for sports today. I'm Tej Adderley. Have an amazing week.
Thanks so much, Tej. Well, April is recognized as Coastal Awareness Month across the world. The annual observance was designed to educate communities about the importance of protecting the country's natural resources and coastline. Here in the Bahamas, the environment plays a crucial role in the country's tourism product. Over in Grand Bahama, there are a number of educational activities planned for the month of April. Coordinator of Grand Bahama's Ministry of Tourism Sustainability Department, Jermaine Johnson, says the Ministry of Tourism will also spearhead a mangrove planting initiative.
The Bahamas being an archipelago, all we have is coastlines. And these are extremely important and vital to our ecosystem, the ecology of our islands, as well as economically. And so for the entire month, the Ministry of Tourism will be partnering with a number of other agencies, Bahamas National Trust, Waterkeepers, Earth Care, Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee, Litter Free Bahamas, just to name a few of our partners.
These partners say there are going to be a number of exciting events this month.
We will be focusing during Coastal Awareness Month on removing some of the bulk items on the Lewis Yard Beach due to indiscriminate dumping, and also we're partnering with a youth group out of New Providence, and for their project for the month of April they will also be forming litter-free community hubs and will focus on cleaning the roadsides.
The Bahamas National Trust has one of its biggest events at the park, which is going to be National Parks Day, April 20th, celebrated in observance of Earth Day. At the park on National Parks Day, we will have an event where we partner with other environmental partners to highlight environmental causes.
On the other side of this break, meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us from the Weather Center with your check on temperatures around the country. Stick with us. Welcome back. We are officially winding down the weekend, and that means it's time to prepare for the week ahead. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us now to help you prepare weather-wise. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Sunday evening forecast. Currently outside our studios, we're under intermittent clouds, a temperature of 76. Winds are from the north-northeast at 10 miles per hour. A comfortable feels-like temperature of 71. Current temperatures across the nation at this time in our nation's second city, Freeport. We have 73, also in Allenstown, Bimini, a set of 76s in Great Harbor Key, Nicholstown, and in the capital, 72 in Marsh Harbor, and 74 in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. In the central Bahamas, we have 76 in Kemps Bay, also in Georgetown, Exuma, 77 in Deadman's Key, 74 in Arthurstown, and 75 in Coburn Towns in Salvador. In the southeast Bahamas, 78 in Duncantown, as well as the Electoral Bay, Auckland, 77 in Colonel Hill and Abrahams Bay, 79 in Providenciales, and 80 in Matthewtown in Nagua. First look now at our satellite and radar imagery, where we have few clouds, weak frontal boundary over the extreme northwest Bahamas, not much of a concern, high pressure dominating conditions elsewhere across the country. For all areas boating wise, winds will be northeast-east, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, high tide at 7:43 p.m. this evening, low tide at 2:03 a.m. tomorrow morning. In your extended forecast, beautiful day tomorrow, we expect to see some of that eclipse. Okay, so folks who want to go out and see it, it'll be around like 3 where you have maximum time of viewing. Tuesday through the rest of the week, pretty good conditions. Friday, we expect the front in the area that should bring some shower activity. Saturday and Sunday, things are clearing out. We're looking at those temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s throughout the week, with the low temperatures in the upper 60s through low 70s. That's a wrapping evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. One local brewery and beverage company is gearing up to celebrate a brand that has existed for over 300 years. They kicked off the festivities with a private event for their partners. Join our Gene Joseph as he gives you a sneak peek of the Remy Martin tricentennial celebrations and tells you how you can take part.
We're here at the Sunset Beach Club with Remy Martin as they kick off their 300-year anniversary. Let's dig in. It was 1724 when Remy Martin, a young winemaker from the Cognac region of France, began to sell cognac under his name. Today, the Remy Martin brand has turned a small area of France into the stronghold of one of the finest cognacs in the world. Somewhere throughout history, Remy Martin found its way here to the Bahamas, and Remy Cointreau area manager Kiani Thomas says the brand remains one that people look to when they want to have a good time.
So Remy Martin has been in the Bahamas from before I was born, which is a very long time, but it's a brand that has been established throughout the world. It's globally known, and Remy is special to the Bahamas because the Bahamas is one of the top producing Caribbean countries for Remy Martin. We know that Bahamians love a good time. We love to enjoy spirits, and Remy Martin, thankfully, is one of those brands that Bahamians look forward to when they're having a good time.
Remy Martin only uses fruit from the most revered vineyards, Grand Champagne and Petit Champagne, which provide ideal conditions for ripening the grapes to perfection, the element at the heart of the taste. This unique flavor has drawn in connoisseurs like Dalton Forbes, who says the taste is more than words can explain.
Well, if you know about Remy Martin, you know about cognac, you would know that there are some brands that have a staple. Remy Martin being one of the first. The legacy behind them is like second to none. And like literally, it's just great. The only way to describe it is that you have to experience it for yourself.
Bahamian Brewery is pulling out all the stops and providing many opportunities to experience Remy Martin as his 300th anniversary approaches. Brand manager Angela Moss invites you to join in, whether you are a veteran or new to the brand.
Throughout the entire year, we're going to be having a series of different happy hours, dinners, tastings, and pairings at a lot of our local restaurants and bars, just to basically start showcasing Remy Martin's 300 year of inception. So there's going to be a lot of different activities happening around the island. So there's going to be a lot more coming from Remy Martin in the next couple of months. Just look out for our big Remy Martin 300 year soiree in the summertime. It is going to be open to the public. Of course, it's going to be all inclusive, and we can't wait to party with everybody.
Follow Bahamian Brewery on social media to stay updated with the celebrations. Reporting for Our News, I'm J. Willem Joseph.
Thanks, Jane, and thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Of a safe and wonderful evening.